But our appetite
so friggin' warm. Holy moly.
Just yet. So we decided to drive around.
Oh my gosh, I'm warm.
The town of Summers Corner. It was a nice town, sure enough, but the energy there just felt weird, atmospherically speaking. That wouldn't deter us, because we're quite a resilient bunch, always moving forward. Even if the circumstances are pure unadulterated agony. About half an hour into the drive, we discovered a street called Navajo Boulevard.
Navajo Boulevard.
As the name itself is similar to the Native American tribes of the Navajo people, the exact people who hold within their traditions one of the most scariest entities to touch the world, the skinwalker.
Hey guys, thanks guys, really appreciate it. Thanks for the birthday wishes, everybody.
Truly feel the atmosphere and its energy, its vibrancy, and we were not disappointed. Immediately, we felt
really appreciate the birthday wishes. I don't usually drink on Tuesdays, but this is my birthday, so I'm gonna make it an option.
It put us on edge, our eyes peeled and ourselves ready for whatever might happen next. The night grew quiet, all the noise ceased, and the silence fell around the surrounding.
Thank you guys, really appreciate it.
A heavy gust slammed itself in your entity.
Yeah.
Just then, we saw a face in the front of our flickering headlights, grotesque, reddened with malice and spiteful things. Its eyes as pale as
me and my dad were taking. Me and my dad were going to be in the. We're going to take the excavator to move some hard snow in around the cabin now tomorrow. That's what we're going to do. And Thursday, Thursday we're going to ice trout. Thursday. Oh, I'm hoping I can do a ice fishing video. Open.
Enough was enough. I put the car into reverse and we drove the hell out of there. Unfortunately, the feeling was only intensified as we.
No, I don't. I got no work. I never had no work for 3 weeks.
Another gust of.
I never had no work for 3 weeks, and I got. They says we might return to work for Monday coming. And that's not a promise. That's a might. We might have work Monday coming.
With goat and reptilian-like slits in the pupils. Two stubby little.
Thank God for EI. Thank God for that. Yeah. Thank God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, if I had to work in the morning, I wouldn't be on the lambs. Hell no. Yeah, I suppose I'll have 2 or 3, but I'll have a lot more than 2 or 3 gone. I'll have a lot more than 2 or 3 gone tonight. That's for sure. I'm warm.
Gaining some neutrality as the night dragged on.
It's pretty warm here, I'll tell you that. Really, really warm. Holy moly.
And even more together, that there's always something out there waiting to show us more of the across from their veil into ours. So I used to live in northern Arizona, in a town called Page.
Oh, I'm after the few for my birthday. I can promise you guys that. I'm probably going to have a nice few for my birthday.
I moved away less than a month ago, so I lived my whole life in the town, essentially. I have heard stories. Many stories from
I got that, and I got a flash.
The first story happened.
I got a flash too, see guys.
This Page is a 60-mile drive from the next closest town. The nearby area is very popular among locals for jackrabbit, coyote, and bobcat hunting. This particular day, I was out on my own, pretty far.
Boys, I like listening to horror stories. I love listening to that. I wanted to start up a new YouTube channel, but I can't because if I log out of this one, I mightn't get back in because I don't know my Google Ads password. I don't know my Google Ads password, and I don't know my my YouTube password. I lost it all. Seriously, I lost it all. That last flood I had, Last flood I had was just before the winter. I had 4 feet of water in my basement. But I had it down in an old filing cabinet down in the basement, right? And it all went right soggy and ink was off it and everything. I tried to save it. I tried to dry it out first. Put it on top of my ductwork and try to dry it out. And it ended up making it worse. What happened? It all fused together and stuck together. Excuse me. And what happened after, it just fell apart. Literally, it was so brittle, it just fell apart like glass, like very thin glass or ice. Yeah.
The tracks from the coyote. From what I'm assuming were goat tracks.
Boys, I got to ask you, guys something. How can I retrieve passwords? Is there anything I can download that can retrieve passwords?
And the goats going to the right. The blood trail.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like any passwords that's already gone. Anything that, any way I can retrieve that?
Tracks led down into another wash, known in the area for being.
There's got to be a way to retrieve it, or some way to get it up.
It took place near the outskirts of town. It has a video that comes with it. My friends and I were out around 10 at night near one of the local.
Gotta be some way.
At the edge of one of these trails, a storm drain tunnel sticks out. We used to joke about skinwalkers, using it to hide from joggers or bikers, but had never paid it much attention. This night, though, we decided to go into the storm drain to see for ourselves.
I have no clue how to get that up. That bus thing.
300 feet in when I heard
I don't know how to retrieve my passwords.
I could only see about 50.
I don't know my Google password, and I know the rest. I know my Facebook, and I know like everything, like Instagram, Twitter.
The storm drain leads to a nearby.
I know other things I can't say here on here, but I know all that. The only thing I don't know is my Google password and my YouTube password.
Showing us that one wasn't them.
Google AdSense, I meant to say. That's what pays me money, right? Like as long as I stay signed in, I can click off YouTube. Say I can exit out and go back in, but the only thing is, what will fuck me altogether if I signs out? If I signs out, I'm screwed. Or if I got to shut my laptop off, I'm screwed. But I don't know. I never asked Google myself.
To start this off, I wanted to give some background information. I'm 14, female, and half Navajo.
How to retrieve a missing password from Google.
Pretty much everything scares me.
Here's information from Business Insider.
Break someone's job. My girlfriend is 16.
Okay.
Mostly Russian. She usually puts herself in front of me to try to protect me if need be. These are important later on in the story. In my town, there's a plot of land that I believe that may have once been a golf course. I go to this plot of land with my girlfriend. We'll call her Casey, and my friends. This piece of land has become overgrown after no attention for a few decades, and is almost a plot of woods.
You were tried it that way.
Long grass.
There's always many ways. A Google account. Lots of ways you can do that. But by Google AdSense account, now that's going to be different.
We call this plot of land Wonderland. Flanking Wonderland is a set of abandoned train tracks that goes all the way through the town.
That's going to be different.
Because we see loads of deer all along it every fall. In Wonderland, there's a small shed alongside one of the deer trails that we call the Devil's Toy Box.
I strictly finds my right hand the night. We must gonna have rain or something. Oh my God, man! I strictly finds my hand. Ooh.
So hopefully this sets the scene for you. Again,
yeah.
Important later on.
I hope.
This happened sometime 2 years ago.
I hope Thursday is going to be a good day.
Halloween. I was walking home from school. Casey didn't join me like she usually did.
Spaniards Bay forecast.
So it was just me.
Here's the forecast for Spaniards Bay.
Thursday, 3 degrees, sunny.
So I figured I'd stop in Devil's Toy Box to rest.
Cool.
I popped down
4 degrees, sunny for Saturday. Mm.
I took a moment to look around Wonderland to enjoy the beautiful fall colors being lit up by the sun. Up on the hill, emerging from the ark, was a massive buck with these huge
Holy
antlers.
moly.
It just started
7
to
degrees for
rise
Friday.
all at once.
Holy.
And the sun disappeared behind the clouds. There was a distinguishing stench in the air.
Chance of showers. Geez, I don't care about chance of showers.
It was completely
Holy crap.
I gagged and struggled not to throw up while the deer snapped its head and looked at me.
Old age, yeah. Something. I know that. Oh, I can see. Well, I'm after breaking all my fingers like 20 times already. Literally, every one of my fingers, I'm after breaking every one, say, 20 times. So that's a lot of times. Well, it's been pretty bad. It's been pretty bad when I go. Every time I go down to the emergency, I break your finger. It's pretty bad. You go. The emergency doctor looks at you and like say, she or he says, "You're back again." That's so often I break my fingers. I don't know. My bones in my fingers must be weaker than everything else. Oh.
I threw my book bag over.
Oh, it is.
Started running as fast as
I got all records in the carabiner. Plus, they knows me. It's pretty bad. I breaks my fingers that often. My fingers breaks that easy. The people knows me down through emergency. They calls me by my name when I goes down. Without me showing their card or anything. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Appreciate it.
Next to the deer trail. Kate, she said as she looked from me to the hoof prints and back. I explained what happened the day before. As I talked, I could see her eyes growing wide. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm after breaking every one of these about 20 times each. That's a lot. Like, look at that one. Watch how crooked that one's growing. That one is growing out this way compared to this one. Oh. See it? See that one is out, that one is going towards the clock. Oh. That one don't even look straight. The top of he has gone out like that. And it's weird when I bend it. It's so weird. The top of it don't bend with the finger. The top of it wants to go that way. Like when I bend it, it's bending that way, but the rest of the fingers going straight, but the top of it wants to go down that way. To a corner. Oh.
Anyway, I was driving
I know.
the road, kind of curling up the mountain.
The worst I ever had was Pinky. That there was stuck right up. And the second one down there, I broke this one right over that way. That one went right over. I don't like those doctors when they tell you on the count of 3 we're gonna do it. And they go 1, 2, 3, and then they'll count to 4. They won't go to 3. They'll never go to 3. Or sometimes they'll go on the count of 3 and they go 1, like that. Or sometimes they don't even count. Sometimes when they go like that, they don't even count. Okay, here we go. Whoop. And they go like that. Oh. Yeah.
This place continued to make me feel quite
42 today. 42 today. I'm still young. Gamer girl. Hey, gamer girl. God love you.
Keep in mind, no one is going more than 5 or 10 miles an hour up this
42. Thank you, gamer girl. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. Really appreciate it.
I think I should call out to them. So I stopped my car. Then I kind of freeze out and feel like I shouldn't. I can't really make out what they're asking. I don't see any sign of people anywhere. And I get back into my car and continue to slowly drive forward and cautiously.
Big 4-2 today, boy. Only 8 more years and I'll be the big 5-0. Holy moly, imagine that. Oh, imagine that. Holy, that'll be long going. Oh my God. That'll go so fast.
I was scared and focused on getting out of there.
Guys, do you know Nostradamus, like the one that predicted all the future? I just done a bit of research up on about him. Do you know what they says? Do you know what they says? Notre Dame predicts this year is going to be worse than 2020. I hope not. Yeah, I hope not.
But I remember this place. It sticks with me. Whenever I'm watching scary movies, if I'm walking my dog in the woods at night, nothing compares to that feeling I had driving up in the mountain. And it's honestly kind of interesting to me.
Not if you freeze it. Shit don't run you when you freeze it. It's like the old saying. People says, you right like this one, because the apple don't fall far from the tree. Well, I'll tell you what, there people, my apple tree must have grew on a fucking cliff, because when it fell off, it fell far away from the apple tree, because I'm nothing like anybody. I am nothing like no one else, because I tell you, holy moly, my apple tree must have grew right on the edge of a cliff, because when my apple fell off, holy crap, it fell a long ways away and down in a ocean and floated away. I know, right? Because you know what it is? I think it's the zombie apocalypse. What it is, I think that's all this old COVID stuff on the go. Like, guys, don't you agree with me though? That you can't find a cure for cancer, but all of a sudden now this plague come on out like coronavirus, and within probably a year they had a cure for it. They found a cure. They says they found a cure, and then you get injected once, and then you got to get injected twice. So what's up with that? Like, why do you need a second dose of it? I'm not getting it. Hell no. Fuck that. I ain't getting it. If it's mandatory, I'm still not getting it. The only way they'll have to give that, they gotta fucking pin me down and force me. They gotta literally force a needle in my arm, because I ain't getting that fucking shit. No. And
I went through different websites.
Going to make you think, guys, don't it? Like, how come they can't find a cure for cancer? But all of a sudden now this pandemic, worldwide pandemic, come out, and now they got a cure.
Which also piqued my intuition. It is also stated that
I'm thinking about that. I'm telling you, I'm not getting no fucking shot. Screw that. One of these days, maybe not days, weeks, months, maybe years. One of these years, people will start dropping down like flies. Seriously. The people will stop. The people, even the ones that you love, even the ones that is in chat, probably haven't got the needle. But like, I think my sister got it, mom and dad got it, but I'm not getting it. Fuck that. No way.
I have done a lot of solo traveling, both in and out of the country, and I've never had such a bad feeling. On top of seeing an unnecessary amount.
Oh, I got tips. I got tips. Trust me. I got lots of tips. I got 33 guns, and I got about 80,000 rounds of ammunition down the basement. So I got lots of tips when I get you anywhere from here up. Yeah. All I gotta do is, put some gunpowder out around the front yard and out around the back, and do the Will Smith maneuver. He steps on it, bang! Holy fuck!
He loves it. Last night, Jamie was in an awful mood.
Well, they always says, you can't kill them all, and they'll overpower you and all that. Well, if that's the fact, fuck it. At least I'll go down trying. I'll get down with a blaze Lord. That's my attitude about it.
For a long time.
My attitude will be, well, hell. The more I kills, the less is on Newfoundland. Because, guys, you got to think about it, too. This is only a fucking island. It's like 500,000 people.
Don't go too far, I told them.
Zombies can't drive a boat, and zombies can't swim. the sharks out there would kill anything underwater between Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. So we're pretty good in Newfoundland, and there's lots of places to hide. Thank you, Amanda.
Just to make sure. And sure enough, a man was standing there staring at me. Once I flashed the lights, he started.
So, guys, if a zombie apocalypse ever happens, come to my house. I'll give you a gun, and I'll say, "Here's the gun, here's the ammo. Load and fire, fast as you can fucking go." I thought you wouldn't bite going out. Holy fuck! Especially 30-06 I got. Holy fuck! Oh, bullets on her like that. Bullets on her like that, and the big old super scope on her. I can pick you off like 2 kilometers. Oh, pick you off before you even see me.
And instead of groaning, he was weeping, still staring very intensely at me. I decided to screw waiting 3
The
minutes.
pet
Just take
out by Arnold's called the
The
bee.
man stopped weeping. I unlocked the door for Jamie and let him into the car. Jamie looked super pale and very stone-faced. I started screaming at him that we had to go, but he just suddenly.
That's a good spot. Go up them big old long doorsteps. Oh man, they'll never get you near. Walls in there is like 3 feet thick.
The people set the man on fire.
Walls in there, buddy, 3 feet thick. That is. They'll never get you in there.
Jamie started howling with laughter.
That's down Placentia.
The car around and we drove away. He was speeding faster than he had ever done before.
Arnold's Cove. Where's Arnold's Cove?
Jamie grabbed my phone. Don't call
Arnold's Cove.
Or you'll be next. He then gave the phone
According
back
to
to me.
Wikipedia, Arnold's Cove is a town on Newfoundland's Avalon Peninsula in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador,
He was
Canada.
muttering a ton under his breath. I couldn't understand any of it though. It didn't even sound English.
I don't think I was ever in Arnold's Cove.
To say or do anything. Jamie dropped me off. Since then, Jamie texted me every hour on the hour saying, "Do you want the fire to spread?" I haven't responded to any
Who the fuck is that?
yet.
I can't remember
Something happened
any.
to Jamie in the woods. I'm
I can't remember anything down in Arnold's Cove.
Let's go for a drive. I want to show you something. I don't know what to do.
Oh, yes.
To start off, I'm
Yeah,
not a
'cause that's
believer in
like-
anything paranormal.
That's way down there, and we're up here. That blue dot is us.
The
That's
extent of my creepy-
blue dot is where I'm to now. Arnold's Cove's way the fuck down there.
I've been through my friends, and most of them chalked it up to the usual. It was a cougar
Street
fox,
view, all right.
not a woman.
Do a street
The
view.
wind did that. It was just a messed up homeless guy.
Are we
stopping
leaving
me.
Arnold's Cove
And
or
looked at
entering
that.
right now?
I cannot logically explain to myself what I just witnessed in any terms other than saying it was
Excuse me.
terrifyingly unworldly at worst. So this all happened just a few hours ago when I decided to do something different after work and take a hike by this little park my shop is by. I'm a mechanic. It's something my wife loves to do, and I decided to take some trails she likes to go on. Now, the thing about this park is it's basically just an oval, some roads to look at the scenery, and a place to fish and dock boats.
Oh, I'm not sure that's that. Jeez.
But after that, it's mostly
It's put the fuck all down
the
there.
trails go
I done
out into
YouTube
the
video
woods
down
about
there.
10 miles. And after that, it's about 1,000 acres of no man's land woods and blind cliffs owned by the state. People get lost.
It's some
all the time.
some long, boring, windy road.
And my wife had her own
Huh.
stories of going off the trail for a second and getting instantly turned around. In my college days, I used to do the same thing, but not anymore since I've had my fair share of getting scared after getting lost in places like that. It's by the grace of God I could always find my way back, but it's never a wise thing to do, even if you are confident in your navigation skills. I think you're getting the picture of the place that I was in. When I get there, I'm parked, and I decided to take one of the relatively shorter routes, 2-mile trail. Since it
Oh,
had
I'm
been
not
a
getting
while
no
since I
shot.
walked the trails,
Fuck that.
I didn't have any gear on me. Plus, it would be dark soon.
Like I said to the old man, I said, Father, I said, everyone's going to drop down one of these days.
Thank God I did. I was pretty confident that getting lost wouldn't be that big of a deal, since one of the
Gonna
longer
be
trails,
waiting a
also
spill,
round
Amanda.
trail, miles, made for camping, went all the way around the parking lot. And my trail
Yeah, they
in the
get
car
zombies to
went
get tired of Newfoundland. because they got to walk for miles and miles to see anybody. Yeah.
I wasn't worried, just ready to get some walking in, and then brag to my wife how I finally went out.
All zombies probably go up on top of Signal Hill and commit suicide. They'll probably jumping off the. They'll probably be jumping off the Cabot Tower.
I'd say I got about a quarter mile in before things got a little weird. It wasn't that there was anything visibly off or anything, just that I started to feel uncomfortable, kind of like a nagging feeling in the back of my mind saying, "You should probably leave." I had already started and didn't really feel like turning around, so I kept going, looking at wildlife, enjoying the view when I could, and generally taking it slow. But that feeling never did go away. It was at the halfway point, at what my map said was the crest of the trail. That feeling got overwhelming. It was suffocating, like my whole body wanted to just up and run out of that perfectly fine-looking trail. But I had already come so far, and there was no use in turning around since I was at the halfway point. I thought maybe I was just getting freaked out since I hadn't done it in a while. Or maybe I was just having a panic attack from all the stress I'd been under for the last few days. So I decided to sit down and take a breather to calm myself down. It didn't. Around 5 minutes into me flipping through my phone and reading some random Reddit stories, I noticed how quiet the woods had gotten. The air was completely silent. There was literally nothing. You ever hear the phrase, silence can be deafening? Well, in that moment, it was so quiet I could hear my ears ring. It hurt it was so silent, and it unnerved me to no end. So I did what any husband does. I called my wife for guidance. The conversation went something like this, at full speaker volume since I was so desperate to clear the air. "David, what's going on?"
Told him I got on, you was gone.
Because I rarely ever called, even for emergencies.
I missed
"Hey,
it.
don't worry. I'm going to be a bit late, since I decided I was going to hike that 2-mile loop today. But I had a question for you. What does it mean when the woods get, suddenly quiet?" She went silent for a bit, freaking me out more. "Where are you on the trail? How far in?" "About a mile. Why?" "I want you to get up and grab a big rock or a sharp, long stick or something, and finish the trail as quickly as possible. But don't run. It's quiet because there's a predator around. Maybe a bear or a cougar. Something big at least. I don't want to freak you out,
Okay.
but I want you to know that it probably already knows you're there. And if it's a cougar, it's probably been following you. Make it know you're there, and don't run. I'll drive up to the trail and meet you when you get out." She hung up before I could properly freak out. Rather than puking up my anxiety or running as fast as I could, I got a stick, broke some of it off so it would be sharp, and sent a quick "I love you."
Hey, Manda, did you get your radio fixed after?
Our house is close, so I knew she'd be there in about 15 minutes or so. But it didn't calm me down. Not at all. For the next half hour, I'd slowed down to about a crawl as I looked around for whatever could be near me.
On the lambs.
The woods were still quiet. At this point, I was so anxious.
I got some funny videos going up now.
I wasn't so paranoid that closing my eyes just for a second would alert whatever was making the woods so quiet attack.
Oh, I kind of figured that.
Looking over my shoulder every few seconds.
Sure, it's not going to cost you nothing anyway.
Hear if there's anything walking around me.
Brand spanking new vehicle, not even 4 months old.
Still no sound. Still no wildlife. Still nothing. Just my heart racing. But as I went onto the trail into some thicker parts of the woods, I began to notice how my footsteps seemed to echo ever so slightly. It was hardly noticeable, and had I not been so on alert, I wouldn't have even registered it. But once I heard it, it was deafening. When I stopped to check behind me, though, there was nothing. At first, I thought I had just gotten so worked up that I was hearing things, that the quiet was messing with my head.
No, it's under warranty.
So I tried to ignore it.
Boo! Oh, I didn't know that.
I just couldn't. It was so unnerving that I started to play with it. Look at my pace ever so slightly. Stop. Go. Go nearly into a full sprint. And every time, an almost perfectly in-time replica would follow. I hated every second of it. It felt so unreal that I could feel my body begging me to just book it. I couldn't. If there really was a cougar, it'd get me. So I tried one last effort to see if it was really in my head or not. I took a few normal steps and then acted like I was about to put my foot down before I stopped, just above the leaves. Crunch. I had never gone so still in my life. I couldn't breathe as the sound of an extra footstep echoed in my brain, and somehow I knew deep down, despite never being involved in this type of stuff, that whatever was behind me was unnatural. For the longest time, I couldn't move, and sure as hell didn't want to look.
Yeah, I think you gotta go to a jewelry store for that. You want to give them a ring. If you want to give them a ring, you got to go to a jewelry store. Or give them the washer.
A suffocating sense of dread and terror pumping through my veins. I only had a quarter mile left to go.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
I had the solace of still being in my house and getting one step closer to my wife. I thought it was all over at this point, and that it was just going to be a moment of me having a freak-out moment and laugh about it.
See if my tablet is charged up.
Being a few minutes of footstep free.
Nope, I had it on since 1 o'clock today, and I bet you it's only on probably 90%.
I had been walking slower than usual, so I wasn't even shocked that she had to come meet me on the trail. From the exit, it was
95%.
a 15-minute walk from her quick pace. She was the type of person to meet you if you were freaked out, even in the middle of nowhere. What else was I supposed to suspect? So, I keep walking, and hear her call me again. I reply with some.
So, here.
Oh, you're. Keep on following the trail. There was nothing that threw me off.
Is this a man that Pike?
Kept going.
The real man that Pike?
That I had even detected was that no matter how much further I got, the voice didn't get any louder. It was odd.
Huh?
I thought maybe she was trying to lead me to the exit, or thought I went off the trail or something. And when I heard her voice subtly switch from in front of me to my left, those suspicions were answered.
So did you eat all your bit? The fuck's a bit?
I was bleary from all that fear. I knew that. And when I remembered who was calling for me,
anyways,
for a fact that woman
did you eat? Oh yeah, okay, birthday cake. Oh yeah.
Last time had nearly been over a year.
I eat all that. My old man does some laughing at me. Holds up a little tiny May West bun, and had a small candle in. Oh, I got them brought out. I got the candle brought out. Dad said, "What did you wish for?" I said, "I can't tell you that." I said, "If I tell you that, I said it will come true."
It sounded exactly the same. Same intonation, same speed, everything. No other words
my God.
My name.
That was funny. Dad said, "I done some laughing at you." Oh my God, you holding up your little Tony cake. And I had on the hat with all the candles on. And I found out I had one like that. I had it 3 years ago. Cap, I went to the basement. I had to clean it off.
Just kept going and going. There was only a stop, like for a gasp of air.
See?
But the sound never weakened or broke. Like anyone
I had to clean it off.
It was just an ongoing sound that would pause for a second. Keep going. And in my panic, I booked it as fast as I possibly could. Because all of the things I knew, I didn't. That thing wasn't my wife. Running at the speed, I was in a hurry. I didn't even notice I went off the trail, since they weren't well cleared this time of year. And I didn't know I was lost.
I'm not putting on my flowers, too fucking itchy. I got on a sweater for that.
I didn't want to turn around.
Holy moly, that's itchy.
Still screeching.
Oh, do you know what? I might go up and get some more and cut them.
As I just kept running, bolting until my legs were nearly about to collapse.
Honestly, you wonder why now I'm going to cut them.
I'm
going to hang them up on the window.
With that screech,
I'm going to hang them up against, I'm going to put them around the window, right around the window. That looks so nice. I like that. Or I might put them up, say, along might put them up along the busty.
And if that was my
along the ceiling,
it would be dark by the time I.
That would be nice.
It didn't even matter since I was so out of breath.
Ooh, I just thought of that. They're only $1
the trails
for that.
themselves were getting pretty messy.
It's only $1 for that. That'll be some nice. Hanging right around. So I need a nice bit. My God, that's what. About a foot. That's about 2 feet. 2.5 feet, I suppose. Yeah. Oh God, you more than that. 2.5 feet.
Sweating up an anxious, smelly storm.
Yeah.
As my bug eyes looked around to see what I could see from my hiding spot. The screaming never did stop.
I got Britney Spears perfume sprayed on it.
Very quiet, very subtle crunch, so predatory in nature.
Oh my God, people popping in.
Leave my mind. is that
people
his
want to talk to me
footsteps were
on
right behind me to the back
another
of the rock,
on off.
totally covered.
Best people want to talk to me off YouTube.
Even when it was right behind me, the scream stayed the exact same volume until, out of nowhere, it just stopped on a dime. I heard the footsteps explore around for a long, long time, but eventually they too went far away, and I couldn't hear them. I didn't dare leave.
Yeah, I gotta try to retract my passwords.
Trembling and lightheaded as it got darker. When I finally pried myself out of the rock,
Because I'm freaking it to log in on YouTube. If I logs out and I don't know the passwords. If I try too many times, it'll lock me out.
Just after dark, exploring for
I don't want
I
that.
found a ranger cabin just a little ways from where I started on. She had just been getting the missing persons call from my wife.
I don't need that.
No. Scared. Before she took me back, which was thankfully a short drive on her four-wheeler, I asked if I could use her toilet and threw up more violently than I'd ever have in my whole life. She didn't ask me what happened, just took me back. And on the whole way from the cabin to the park,
I had that on up Bay Roberts today. Oh, the women up to McDonald's, they sung me happy birthday.
My wife nearly saw
They were singing me happy birthday through the drive-thru, and they paid for me McDonald's.
The cops and the ranger checked over me.
They paid for my McDonald's. My McDonald's is free today, and they sung me happy birthday. All the women did, honest to God. Even the main boss up there did. I couldn't believe it.
I thought you had gotten
Even the main boss sung me happy birthday up there. Oh my God, man! All the women loves me up McDonald's. Holy crap!
The look on her face as she just stared.
Yeah, they really loves me up there.
Before she said freakier stuff that I could manage to describe what I had just been through. I know. I just got home about an hour ago, and I haven't spoken to my wife about it anymore. We've just been quiet. I still have sticks in my hair, but I'm terrified to be alone. What did I just witness? The story takes place around a few years ago, when my dad left town for a business trip. I've never told anyone this story, but I guess I now have. I used to live in a fairly wooded area, with about a 2-story house in a small town in the United States. This house was kind of creepy, though. I don't know how to exactly describe it.
Oh my God, I really want to upload a YouTube video today. I can't see because I already uploaded one today. A while ago I was doing
the drag that lingers a small amount too long.
While ago, what the
fuck? The story's not about that house.
While ago I was uploading too, but I had to give it up because you don't gain no money. You don't gain much money doing it that way. But I got a funny video going up tomorrow or the next day. Oh my God, it's all been animals.
Little did I know.
I'm not going to tell you what they does, but
it was approaching.
I kind of done a bit of editing to the animals, and I threw in a man's voice in on it. All I did, I copied. I went through my Google AdSense, and what I did, like you got a row of stuff there, and Amanda knows what I'm talking about because I'm after showing her. Matter of fact, I showed her last summer, and how to go in and it goes in your YouTube studio. It's called. Go in your YouTube studio, and you go in, you click on the voice copy. Oh my God, I can't pronounce it. Voice over editing, I think it's called voice over editing. You take the voices that they gives you. They got all type of voices there, and I'm not going to tell you what I done with it. But oh my God, it's so funny.
Would I be in an empty void?
Yeah.
Would I be with God?
Oh boy.
And even if I went to heaven, would it be for the better?
At the end of it, oh my God, what I said at the end of it is so funny.
Something scratching at the back of my head.
Moo. I can't wait to put it on. Oh my God, I think that's going to be one of the first videos I gotta put on.
Hopefully it would be painless.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of the first videos I put on tomorrow.
The worst part was the ear-splitting screech.
All depends what time I get up, because I didn't go to bed. What I done last night,
When you would hear from a woman that saw something,
I lie down, watch a movie. I got up,
like a wounded animal.
went on YouTube.
I don't know if whatever
I went in the bed,
that was the noise it just made.
talking to people on my tablet. The tablet went dead.
Jolted up and ran as fast as
Then I said, I'm going to bed, the sun was dead. Then when I got when I shut that off, I put on the Simpsons, then I started laughing. Then I got the laughing fit. I'm like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I was here like, come on, Gerry, go to bed. So I shut the light, so I shut the TV off. And not very often does that. So when I shut the TV off, I roll over on this side. I roll over on that side. I took my arm up like that. I put my arms like that. Then I went like that. Then I was like that. Then I was like that. I was like that. Holy fuck. I was like, screw this. I went out, come back out here, put the light on. 3:30 a.m. 3:30 a.m. I was here watching YouTube videos. And I was trying to watch the most boringest shows and boringest stuff on here. I was even watching videos on this with different languages, with Japanese languages. Never had a fucking clue what they were saying.
And that's when I saw my short life before my eyes. My elementary years, my family, middle school years. My family was still all I could
stood on your
I wasn't even
head.
Supposed to be out there. I was able to move.
If I can, I would have.
But I felt it on my back.
Stand on my head and walk with my feet.
I ran fast and
that sounds like fucking some Exorcist shit. You must be watching Exorcist, did you? When the missus comes downstairs doing the crab walk. Holy fuck, I died laughing at that.
They saw me and they watched as I collapsed.
Let's see if I can get it up.
They asked if I was okay.
Woman does the crab walk.
According to Women's Health, push your hands and feet into the floor and raise your torso and thighs a few inches so your butt is hovering above the ground. Take a step forward, simultaneously moving your right hand and left foot. Repeat with your left hand and right foot.
Ooh, I gotta try that. That could be a YouTube video. That could be a YouTube video. Me learning how to do the crab walk.
I didn't feel safe there.
Oh my God.
Which was maybe a few hundred meters away. It took me a bit to realize that the sting I felt, it may have been a claw.
Can you imagine me walking like
I
that?
didn't care. I made it out alive. I made it out alive. I haven't had an incident.
Holy crap.
I'm still waiting. I feel like it will come back. It felt weird how it just left me alone, knowing that.
Ooh, I like to give her a crab walk. I like to walk her crab all night.
And even now and then, I can hear the same screech.
Look at that.
It's usually so quiet to the point I can barely hear it. And it almost sounds like the cracks in my old house. For as long as I can remember, my family has owned this little cabin in northern
Okay.
Originally, it served as a house for my grandfather. But when he passed away, my father inherited it.
Never did watch it. Oh my God. Is that on Netflix, I wonder?
The place was used less and less. Eventually, my parents began renting it out to people looking for a quiet place to stay in the woods. An Airbnb type of deal.
Horror movies on Netflix.
Deep in the woods. The closest neighbors are a half a mile away, and the nearest town is 20 miles away. Perfect for those looking to get away from it all. They've been renting this place out for years with no problems at all.
Alive, the platform.
Last December, a couple requested to book the cabin for a week.
I'm thinking of eating things. Ooh, Escape Room. Oh, that was a good movie. Me and Amanda watched it a while ago.
And also,
Death of Me.
Plow all of the snow, so it can be pricey. The couple, a wealthy doctor and his
Eli,
wife, said that they paid triple.
The Silence.
All of the other places they had tried.
The Blinding.
The holidays, and it was
Bird
the
Box. The
My
Witcher.
dad agreed, and made
Nobody
them
sleeps in the
calls
woods
to get the place
tonight.
opened up. He called me on
Ooh,
December 12th
Amanda.
and asked if I could drive up to the cabin It was only about 45 minutes.
Nobody sleeps in the woods tonight.
And meet with the company.
Ooh, I think our next movie. Look how fucked up that looks.
So I said I would. As I drove down to the cabin's long
That
drive,
sounds like our next movie.
a winter storm advisory going on the radio. Roads were clear for now, but there would be 24 to 30 inches of snow by the next afternoon.
You can't check
for the area,
Facebook on
to a meteorologist.
tablet. No
I felt a little uneasy,
change.
and I decided to give
No.
the couple the opportunity to back out with a full refund if they wanted. With the storm coming, I didn't think it would be wise for them to stay stranded up there alone, especially since cell phones
Ritual
are for the most parts.
in the tall grass. Ooh, that was a good movie. In the tall grass. His house. That's what's stupid. Relic.
And felt a sense of dread that I could hardly describe or make sense of.
Apartment
I had so
1BR.
much to tell these people that the deal was off. and that
Hey,
they
that looks like a cool one.
Anywhere else. Instead, I parked my car, got out, and walked
Apartment
over to
1BR.
I could
Ooh.
tell that they weren't from this area as soon as I saw them.
Slender
The
Man.
man
That's a
was
good
wearing an
movie.
expensive-looking suit,
He's on
and he had a
Netflix.
fur coat and designer heels. Not exactly proper winter gear for the climate. Hi, Claire Lane. My dad is the one who owns this place. I believe you spoke to him? I said as I stuck my hand out to shake the hands.
Ooh, look what's on Netflix. Excuse me. Halloween.
We really appreciate him agreeing to let us stay in such short notice.
Cool.
He paused. Of course, I'll make it worth his while.
The
As the man who I
Boy.
came to know as Dr. Grant Oswald.
Eli.
Went over the
The
details of their stay.
Cloverfield
Mrs.
Paradox.
Oswald
That was a good
took the
movie.
first steps
The
and opened
Invasion.
window, peering inside. This place is perfect, Grant. She called over happily.
The Cloverfield
It's even better than
Paradox.
the pictures.
That's a good movie.
Grant looked at me and smiled. I took them inside and we walked through the front door.
The Platform. That's a good movie too.
The wood burner was going in the
Circle.
corner of the living
That's stupid
room. The
one.
place was nice and warm. My dad's friend Jimmy from down the road had already been by and gotten the wood chopped and the fire started. That was one less thing for me to
Guys, who likes a real good action-packed plus action plus horror movie? Look at this movie. Resident Evil, the final chapter.
Look.
Holy crap.
But there's a storm coming. It's expected to drop a couple feet of snow, and you're a long way from any kind of help if something were to happen. If the weather is bad enough, it might be a while for anyone to come and plow you out. I'm not sure if it's.
I really don't care if no one talks because I'm here after a few drinks and I'm listening to horror movies.
An expression of fear and concern flashed across Mrs. Oswald's face. We'll be fine, Grant assured me with a good-natured grin. We've brought enough food and supplies to last a week, and it looks like there's enough wood out there to heat this place for a whole month, if need be. Okay, but if you find yourselves needing anything, there's an old CB radio in the back bedroom upstairs. Most of the old-timers around here have them. You might be able to reach somebody that way. We do have our cell phones, Miss Oswald laughed. They won't do you much good up here, I told her. At this.
Ooh, Manda, look what I brought in Costco today. They haven't got no cotton candy grapes in there, but I still got grapes.
But I convinced myself that I was just
I still got grapes, but look what I got in Costco. I stored it. They got like they got like a big old bag of these. And guess how much they are? You're like almost $8. $8 for all that. 500 milligrams. They got them. And they got, oh my God, they got lots of these.
The door would then
I think they got caramel ones in these too.
Cold sweat, unable to shake that dreadful feeling.
Caramel egg, caramel. Oh,
Prove to myself this whole thing was just.
They got these.
To the stress I had been under.
They got the tiny ones, the big ones and tiny ones. Now they ain't got many tiny ones, but the maturity of them is all these great big old eggs that you bought at Dollarama. Yep. I love this cranberry eggs, or whatever the fuck you call them. I love them. I can't eat no more. Oh my God, I can't eat no more, man. I had pictures. I had 3 hot dogs today. I had pictures. And when I got home around, I say around what, 8 o'clock? About 7:50 or 8 o'clock, I end up shoving the fucking, what's the name, the strawberries in the sink. I end up cleaning strawberries, and then I end up eating strawberries. I had strawberries this morning for breakfast. Oh my God, I love fruit in the morning. Oh man, any fruit in the morning like strawberries and grapes.
The house was ice cold. The wood burner held nothing but oil.
I asked it was a very young girl at the vegetable freezer. So I asked her, I said, where's the grapes to? She looks at me, she's like, we sold out. Sold last pack, she said, but an hour ago. I said, is it true? Was it true that you had them here? Oh yes, it was true. They had them here. Yeah, they had them there. They had them there, but the only thing is, they sell so too fast. It's crazy, man. Like, crazy. They sold out within 2 days. It was gone, she said. Yeah. I don't know who this young girl was, but my God, I was there probably 21 minutes. I had a good conversation with her, and she was talking doing more talking to me than I was doing talking to her.
I knew at this point that I had two choices.
She knew I had a YouTube channel too. She knew who I was, and she knew I had a YouTube channel, and she talked away, boy. Geez, beautiful girl. Beautiful young girl. She probably, I don't know, probably 26, 27-year-old. Probably a little bit younger, probably a little bit older. Probably a nice girl she is. Yeah. Really nice. She was on the she was on the where they keeps the grapes and strawberries too. I don't know what freezer I don't know what cooler they call that. Like, you know, it's where all the Gatorade and A&W and Powerade and it's all drinks on one side. Just over on the other side, it's like your turnips and carrots and paper towel and toilet paper.
I stood at the top of the stairs and stared down.
Produce cooler.
Produce cooler. I then heard a growl.
So it's called
like
produce.
I'd ever heard.
Produce cooler.
It filled me with a kind of terror. I haven't
oh, okay.
Or since.
Yeah, man, she's some nice lady. Holy moly, man, she's some nice woman. I liked her. Honestly, I liked her. Oh man. Yeah. I think I'll go back into Costco again soon. Holy moly. Yeah.
His eyes were wide open and his mouth seemed to be frozen into a permanent.
She struck up the conversation first.
Dried red substance.
He's like, hey, Gerry, what you doing? I'm like, Daddy. I'm like, then I asked her, I said, have you got any cotton candy grapes? She's like, no, Gerry, boy, we sold them all out. She's like, if I had known you was interested, she said, I would have sold you some. I would say, oh, God love you. Then I went on, didn't I? Said, well, I'm going in anyway. Yeah, she said, go on in. Go on in, she said, see what you can get. And they had regular green grapes. And that's what I got at the fridge now. I got at the fridge there now. I got regular green grapes. I like them too. They're good. They're really good. I wouldn't buy no more strawberries. I wouldn't buy no more strawberries. I like to pick up one pack of, like, only one thing. Because what some people do see, they get greedy. They picks up too much what they can eat. I don't know if you guys can understand what I'm talking about. They picks up too much than you can eat. Like, you buy more than you can eat, and then what ends up happening, you can't eat it all, and then it fucking spoils and rots. Because that stuff spoils quick, see, guys. That stuff goes bad quick.
Too much static for me to understand what they were saying. I wasn't sure if they had even heard my message. And I was running.
That's why when I like to go to Costco, I like to get like probably one tub of strawberries, and that's it. I don't pick up a tub of strawberries, then a tub of grapes. That's only being
I thought it might
greedy.
be okay if I managed to land
I like to pick up one tub, just one tub. That's it. Because I know I'm not going to eat it all, and it's only going to go to waste because I only eat it in the. I only has it for breakfast and night time. That's all I has it for. After like, I like to eat it say probably after suppers. That's when I like to pick out on the fruits and vegetables. I like to eat stuff like that after suppers. That's when I like to eat that.
I hesitated for a second and then jumped as the creature broke through the window and climbed onto the roof.
Now then again, when I do pick out, I eat a lot of it.
I heard the creature jump down after me.
I never eaten that. I never eaten open up the grape shit. The seal's still on them. So
my feet left the
I might eat them rest. I might eat the rest of them strawberries. See,
the creature
like
let out a yelp.
I might eat the rest of them strawberries now tomorrow morning, and tomorrow night I might open them grapes tomorrow night. I think that's what I might do too.
The creature disappeared into the
I might have some grapes tomorrow night.
Black substance in its wake. A second later, there was a long, ear-splitting howl that echoed through the forest, and then silence. "Claire," a voice said, "are you all right?" It was Jimmy. "It's real," I said, quietly, feeling almost a state of shock. "It's really real." "Sure it is," he said. "Now let's get the hell out of here before it decides to come back. I wounded it, but they heal fast. This is the last night of the full moon. Once morning hits, we will return to whatever the hell it came from, at least for a while." I thought it was a dumb campfire story that old timers told us to scare the kids. All stories start from a bit of truth. He said,
Sugar snap.
He offered me his hand and helped me up off the ground. "Come on,
Listen.
you can ride with me back to
Never
Kansas.
had it.
Stay with Maureen and I for the night. We'll be safe there." But the people who were
Ooh.
staying there, they're...
Ooh, never had those.
I'll call it down to the
Get them in
station at night.
Costco?
I don't want anyone else coming here right now.
Sugar
Not
snap
until morning.
peas.
I stared out the window as we drove. Neither of us said a word. The nursery rhyme from my childhood played in my head,
Sugar
again and
snap
again,
peas.
threatening to drive me mad. Every
Here's a
7
summary
years
from
in the full
Wikipedia.
moon's light,
The snap pea
there
is an
comes a
edible
dog
pod
who
pea
walks
with rounded
upright.
pods and thick
The
pod
lucky
walls,
souls
in
who
contrast
cross
to
its
snow pea
trail
pods.
never live.
That's those, right?
Part 3. The police listed the cause of death for the Oswalds as an animal attack, and I guess they weren't entirely wrong. Jimmy and I didn't bother correcting them. Sheriff McCoy...
That's the ones that thinks it is. I like them, but I can't chew them because I got no teeth. When all the stars align, a saying that typically implies that something impossibly good has transpired, that all the twists and turns to present day-to-day life. So that's the ones you sell at Costco.
That's kind of what happened here, just the opposite. Now everybody loves.
That's the ones they sell in Costco.
Trusting them is another story. When the uninvited
Sugar
idiots
snap
begin
peas.
showing
Oh
up
my
and
God.
wreaking havoc on your mom's antique vase collection, that's when you typically begin realizing your mistake. We all
I
wanted
got
to
Troy
host,
in.
but nobody wanted to host. We didn't feel like going to some randos party either. It's just not the same that way. So when Jason started talking about a decent-sized cabin in the woods that seemed to be abandoned,
Oh my
we
God,
were
someone got
encouraged.
roasted
Of
sugar
course,
snap
we were all
peas.
skeptical, despite the fact. What if somebody actually owned it?
Mmm.
It really wasn't abandoned. Then that means it's
Roasted
gonna be pretty
sugar
crap
snap
there.
peas.
How deep in the woods was it? We weren't trying to get lost either. But when we took a trip out there ourselves, the place couldn't have been more perfect. It was only an 8-minute walk into a nearby wooded park area. The only thing that worried us here was the fact that there
Sugar
wasn't an
snap
actual explicit
peas
trail
stir
to
fry.
it. But we dealt with it by making our own artificial trail by cutting through.
Oh
the
my
brush.
God,
The
I'm
place
getting
was
hungry
also
now.
nice. A little dusty.
That's shocking. Just after I finish telling you guys, I get I'm stuffed.
The concerning part.
My eyes are bigger than my gut. Literally, my eyes are bigger than my gut because I'm getting hungry, which mine is telling me I'm hungry, but down there is not telling me because my stomach, I have a big old gut on me, Lord. Jeez, I'm like fat over. Hey, 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 I'm here to play. It's Fat Albert. Oh my God. I could never know the lyrics of that song. Never know.
Nobody even approached the place. However, this brought up a frightening possibility. that somebody was already living in there. This idea was somehow combated by the fact that we already entered this place a few times. It caused a reasonable ruckus.
I don't know what the hell it's called.
They were there, but it's confronted us already.
Well, that's my second drink or third drink. I'm not sure that's my second drink or third drink. Ooh, I've been on this 1 hour. Okay.
The conventional response was something along the lines of, screw that. I don't want to run into
I've been on this 1 hour now. Cool.
We managed to convince each other to go. During the middle
I
of
think
the
like,
five of us went in together.
I think like
Turns out,
late in the night. I don't know. I'm going to be up late tonight.
The door to what had to
I want to be up late because it is my birthday. So I'm going to be up till, I know I'm going to be up till my birthday's over.
There were a few particular things about the house itself, though.
I can promise you guys that. I'm going to be up. I'm going to be up till.
Standing outside a window.
Oh, I'm definitely up
There was a
after 12. That's for sure. I don't know if I'll still be on this or I might be on Facebook Live, but I don't know. We'll see what. We'll play it by here and we'll see what happens.
Obviously unknown. In the same room, there was also an older, banged-up Android phone, which was out of battery. 4.
Okie dokie, Amanda.
But there was only one obscure channel, which was just constant footage of a faint light illuminating what appeared to be a wall in the bedpost.
Oh my.
And finally, there was a rocking chair in the living room that was stuck tight to the ground.
Grandma rocking on that rocking chair.
Noped out of there on the spot. But as I've already established, we were dumb kids trying to get our party on. Nothing was stopping us. We scouted the house for a few more days before finally making our move. We each called up numerous mutual friends, informing them about the plan. They were excited, of course. We were all excited. We planned on having about 20 people in total, if we had slivers of common sense, after all. We didn't want to invite hundreds and risk causing a forest fire or something. The day that the party was supposed to take place, we got there early and began setting everything up, which was basically just music, chips, and beer. A good party is bare bones, after all. No need for
that firewood didn't show up today.
Good company. We also tried hooking up.
That firewood, 8 cord of firewood.
Couldn't get it to work.
We supposed to get 8 cord of firewood, didn't show up.
Although in retrospect,
good thing I never stuck around waiting for it. Fuck that. I don't stick around waiting for no one. Fuck man, if I had to stick around there waiting for someone all day, should I drive you nuts? If it's that's so goddamn important, they'll contact me on the phone. That's why I always look at it. That's why I always look at it. They contact me on the cell phone. They got cell phone number.
The other person on board with the idea was Max. So we let them go at it while the rest of us continued getting intoxicated.
Ooh,
about 10 minutes later, Jason went to the washroom, leaving Chris and I alone. We looked over at the particular rocking chair. What's the point of this sticking to the ground? Chris said. He walked over and peered down. Is it glue or something? Can't tell. He inspected it for a few more minutes before getting into the chair himself and rocking back and forth. Man, I haven't been in one of these things in a while. And then his face.
That could be a good YouTube video. Me trying to do a crab walk.
The chair, and it immediately stopped moving. He tried moving it again while standing. It wouldn't budge. His face contorted in confusion. What?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, come on. Max's outburst interrupted our thoughts. We looked over watching as he held the Ouija board. What kind of board is this? He said. It's not even in English. I took a look at it myself. He was right.
I can see me breaking my neck doing that, trying to be learning how to do crab walk.
For example,
yeah.
The A had 2 lines through it. I swear, it was fine when I brought it. Boris looked at the board, his face also supporting confusion. Well, where'd you buy it? Max asked. At some moving away sale, $3. Guys, I said as I checked the time on my phone. It's 8:40. Where the hell is everybody? They all looked up, checking their phones as well. All right, Max said. I'm going to call Erin to see where she's at. He dialed the number and walked into the kitchen while the 3 of us stood still, a vague dread looming over us. I looked at the stationary chair and shivered. As far as I was concerned, alcohol didn't cause hallucinations.
I could sit down all night long and listen to ghost stories. I love it.
Check this out, he said, opening it.
Loves ghost stories.
Comparable to a children's pop-up book, with crudely drawn animals and trees materializing themselves on top of the pages.
What the
What about it? Chris asked. Look, Jason said, pointing at the space between 2 trees. I squinted to make out what appeared to be a large, gray hand coming out of the dark woods, grabbing onto the branch. Dude, what the hell? Chris said, staring at the bizarre detail. All right, this doesn't make any sense. Max stormed back into the room. Erin said that she arrived 20 minutes ago, and then she let out a weird laugh and hung up. Before we could even react to that, Boris spoke up. Guys, he said in a shaky voice. I can't move my hand. His hand was firmly planted on the board. Quit messing around, Max said, somewhat angrily. I'm serious, man, Boris responded, his voice increasingly frantic. I can't deal with this right now, Chris said, pacing back in the room. I was feeling something similar. There were too many things happening simultaneously, too many storylines to follow. It was frustrating, and as if things couldn't get any worse, I glanced over at the television, which had been on.
Oh my God.
The light had illuminated further,
Why
revealing
don't you try to go downstairs and do that?
Something else as well. A hand dangling over a bed.
Do you imagine me going down the basement stairs doing the crab walk? Holy fuck. I say my arms should be broke, my neck, everything.
What? Max shouted, slapping the board out of his hands. Or at least, that's what he tried to do. Just like the chair on the floor, Boris's hand was actually stuck. Max staggered back, shocked at the sight. This can't be happening, he muttered. His phone suddenly rang, and he
I might do that Friday.
A faint chattering
Do a Friday video of
as he listened.
do that on Friday. Me trying to do crab
He
walk.
put the phone down, and a few seconds later, it was Erin. She said that everyone's in the attic. That we should join them up there. Does this place even have an attic? Chris shouted. Boris breathed a sigh of relief as he finally managed to unstick his hand from the board. That was weird. It spelt out a message, right? What was it? I asked him. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
Excuse
He
me.
was freaking out, he responded. This is pretty weird, Jason muttered, his eyes still glued on the pop-up.
I got lots of YouTube videos coming up. Some educational videos too coming up.
Felt effectively sober. In hindsight, that was simply
Some how-to videos.
By the chain of unexplainable events. Where did Max go? Boris spoke up. We looked around, and sure enough, he was absent. For a while, nobody spoke. We were nearing our tipping point with all the madness going on, after all. All right, Chris said.
I get a Amish cap.
Right? Carbon monoxide.
Amish cap is like this, but it's
things that aren't really happening.
is
If
black.
that's the case, then we need to get out of here.
I'd love to get an Amish cap.
How does that
Where
explain?
can you get Amish caps in Newfoundland?
He hightailed it past me, right into the front door. I went after, screaming at him to get back. He ran all the way to the edge of the
Amish
trees before
hat
stopping.
for sale.
Look, man, if it was gas, I think we would be gone by now. I called after him, but then something caught my eye. Something between the trees. A large gray hand coming out from the dark woods. I raised my voice, ready to yell at him to get back, but he was snatched away before I could even mutter a word. Oh crap, I yelled out, before bolting back inside, locking the door behind me. But truth be told, I wasn't so
God
confident
damn, they're
about
so
our safety
expensive.
inside the house either. What the hell's he doing? Boris asked. I didn't bother responding. Instead, I sat down, attempting to make sense of any of this, but I couldn't. Everything was messed up. Wait, Jason said.
$55.
Remember that? Everybody went quiet,
Holy
trying to discern what I
crap.
was referring to. Eventually, it became obvious. There was some kind of mumbling coming from down the
$55 for a Amish hat.
Max, Jason said. That seemed like an obvious explanation, but with everything that was going on, I had to be skeptical. Eventually, 3 of us decided to head down, just to confirm.
Oh,
Sure enough,
yeah.
Max was there.
You're giving it
mumbling
away.
while kneeling down. He was also transfixed,
Holy
staring into the hole on
crap.
the floor. I approached him and strained my ears, trying to figure out what he was saying. Yeah, okay, I'll get him. I will. They're right behind me. I'll do it now. Oh crap, I thought to myself. Out of all that I could have gotten possessed, it had to be the guy
Top
who
hat.
practiced kickboxing. Max turned around and I winced upon seeing his eyes rolled all the way back, now displaying nothing but white. I tried running back upstairs.
Oh
and he
my
charged me,
God.
sweeping my legs. What the hell are you doing? Boris yelled at him, but his words didn't register. Max rushed at him as well, before delivering a devastating kick to the ribs. Oh crap, Jason stammered out.
They sold 21.
That
One
turned out to be a
available.
bad move, as he was dropped in a single punch. I look over at the hole, which now had an eyeball stalk coming out of it. The sight of that
5-gallon hat.
response into open fire. While he was distracted, I kicked Max's legs, causing him to stumble. I lifted myself up before beelining up the stairs. I could hear Jason and Boris following close behind. Once the three of us got up, we blocked the door with a couch. As Max began trying to tear it down moments later, we decided that enough was enough. Let's get out of this place, I said. Nobody argued with the proposition, so we packed up what we could and ran for the door. But things wouldn't be that simple. As I was about to begin sprinting, I noticed a painting from earlier, the one with the shadowy figure stalking a window. Oh, please don't, I thought. My eyes began moving towards the only window in the living room. Sure enough, the shadow man was right there, staring at me.
Wait a second.
A dark body with two bright white eyes. What are you doing, man? Let's go, Jason said, holding his nose, which was gushing. I gestured toward the window in response. Moments later, Max's arm burst through the door. Well, I'll take my chances anyway, Boris said, pushing past me, heading right out the door. About a second and a half later, he let out a curdling scream that abruptly cut short. A deep chuckling followed. I bounded over to the door and locked it again, only to turn back to see Max's head bursting through the door, like Jack Torrance from The Shining. He said something along the lines of, "There will be nothing when the old ones descend upon this cursed earth." However, since it was Max, I found it hard to take seriously. In any case, Jason and I realized that we were pretty much screwed if we didn't act fast.
Okay.
We both tried weighing our options. While Max was slowly breaking through, it still looked like he had a while to go before he was out completely. Max had left his phone, and it was being bombarded from texts from Aaron, most of them saying something along the lines of, "If you don't come to us, then we'll come to you." For that reason, we were hesitant about escaping upstairs, but that hesitation changed once Jason pointed out something.
Okay.
The door's open. The door that he was referring to was the one that had been locked the first few times we tried opening it. I also noticed what was now the
I can't wait. Oh my God.
Jason and I, both looking scared, seemingly being filmed behind a door that had been cracked open just slightly. We looked back towards the door in question, seeing a hand wrapped in barbed wire now, slithering its way out. In the meantime, Max's full upper body was through. We didn't want to go upstairs, but that choice evidently wasn't up to us. We sprinted towards and up the stairs, locking and pushing a bed up against the door. Our logic operated off of the idea that if the couch couldn't hold Max back, then a bed would, right? Luckily for us, there wasn't some additional demon waiting for us. However, we did happen to be in the room that contained the phone in the locked box, and that's where we've been ever since. I think we got a bit lucky, though. It sounded like Max and whatever had been hiding in the locked room came out at the same time and became preoccupied with each other. I called the cops just before getting out my phone and typing this out. It's been quiet for a while now, but there's no way in hell that I'm going downstairs. Doesn't look like Jason wants to either. Looks like we'll just stay here for now. Update. The shadow figure is now outside our window, and we could hear stomping and laughing coming from the floor above us, even though I'm pretty sure that there is no floor above us. This is going to be a long night. At the end of the street stands a house that is older than most of the houses in our town. It's worn down and weathered, and no one has resided there in over a decade. To the locals, it's known as the widow's house, because the old lady that lived there years ago lived there alone.
Oh, hell no.
Her husband
Not
died
that
at a young age. He was a fisherman lost at sea. Growing up, we were told to stay away from the house because it was a death trap. Inside, the walls were falling down due to rot.
There we go.
The ceiling was water-stained and full of mold.
So
it was understandable why our parents didn't want their children playing around inside. If you ask some of the elders in the town, you would get a different story. You would be told the story about the missing children and how their disappearance was somehow linked to that house. The elders would say that the widow lured the children into her home because she was lonely and wanted company, and when the children would try to leave, she would kill them. I asked my parents about this story, and they assured me that the wise tales that the elders made up were to scare the children to stay away from that house. Even if the stories about the missing children aren't true, I still get chills whenever I walk by that house. There's something unnatural about that house, something dark, and I think if the walls of that house
was this like me?
They'd have some real nightmares.
Second one, third one now, I think. No, third one.
Playing Spotlight on a Saturday night. We were playing in the backyard, and it was just about excuse
me.
to get bored. Just as we were about to call it
I don't know.
go home, one of my friends came up with a brilliant idea. Break into the widow's house and explore outside. One of the guys in the group tried to convince us
Excuse
it was
me.
a bad idea. Parents would find out and get mad if they caught us being there. Being young and stupid, though, we chose to go against our better judgment. We walked up the street, and as we got closer, the moon was illuminating down perfectly on the house. From a distance, we could easily distinguish the worn-down place, and there was no denying that it was abandoned. As we got closer, I started to feel this uneasy feeling go down my spine. I was convinced that the rest of the group did too, but we were all too afraid to admit it because we didn't want to risk being made fun of. We were now standing in front
Well,
of the
what I'm
house,
gonna
and
do
us to work up enough courage to open
now,
the gate.
if my tablet is charged,
All of the rust and corrosion.
that's
I put one hand forward to try to seem brave enough to impress my friends.
not
I
charging.
slowly pushed the gate open with my left hand, and as
Enough
I did,
charging. That's already charged up
made us
now.
all jump. We all looked
Let's
at each other
see.
and burst out into laughter. I have to admit, that very moment I was petrified with fear, but I couldn't let it show. Maybe it was because it was the dead of night, but then again, the place scared the crap out of me in broad daylight too. We started to walk into the front garden, huddled close to one another. We were now at the front door, and all I could think about was the stories that the elders used to tell us. The door was stiff and hard to open. The hinges were old and needed to be oiled, but we managed to push it open far enough.
Oh
for
my
us to squeeze
God.
through and into the entrance. We were standing now inside the house foyer for the first time. Once inside, I thought to myself it wasn't as bad as I imagined, and that it was like any other house, minus the rotten walls and damp smell. One of my friends turned on the flashlight that we had been previously using for our game of Spotlight. With the push of a button, the room was now full of light. We started to explore the house, and we noticed everything was left in place. When the widow died, no one packed up her belongings because she didn't have any living relatives to do so. Thinking of this made me sad for the widow, because one thing the elders got right was that she must have been lonely. Even at 12 years old, the thought of living alone for years on end,
That's funny.
deep in my stomach, I felt sympathy for the widow. She lived inside these walls and would never go outside, mostly because our town and their rumors forced her into a life of isolation. When we reached the upstairs, my friends made their way into one of many bedrooms, and at this point, I was feeling more comfortable being in the house and got bold and headed into one of the other rooms. When I walked into the room, I knew instantly it must have been the master bedroom, her bedroom. It was big for an older home. The moonlight shined through the window, giving me enough light to see around the room. Near the entry of the room, there was a large walk-in closet, and there, still hanging on the racks, was some of the widow's clothes.
What's
Most
stopping
of her
you?
clothes were still on hangers, while the rest now were on the floor, covered in dust. Forgotten.
Nobody's holding your
I
hand.
continued poking around the room, trying to find something that gave me a better indication about her life. I wanted to find something that gave me a better
Guys,
understanding.
I'm going on Facebook Live, okay?
Then I saw it, there, on the edge of the window ledge, a candle, what was left of it. The elders used to say that the widow would light up a candle in her upstairs bedroom window every night